Ever wondered what your favourite gaming characters really look like? Well, here are 7 that might come as quite the surprise. There was a time when game developers could get away with any old collection of pixels for a protagonist. Just look at Noob Saibot from Mortal Kombat, or Reptile from Mortal Kombat. These days, it's different. Lead characters and their supporting cast are faces of multi-million-dollar franchises, designed to draw you in with their sex appeal and heroism. Except, of course, when they aren't designed at all. Here are 7 cheeky peeks behind the curtain at game characters who were never meant to be seen at all. I warn you now, it's almost unilaterally the stuff of nightmares. Let's begin with a 5-second gushing about Firewatch splurge, shall we? The story and the scenery and the lovely conversations and the mystery and the story again in the Wyoming, and thanks for indulging me there. With that out of my system, it falls on me to be the bearer of some rather bad news. Protagonist Henry is not what he seems. Despite the game trying to convince you that he's an anatomically correct human being, like really labouring that point, this GIF released by game artist Ollie Moss reveals the truth. Henry is basically a big pair of fat fists on legs, and only occasionally has a discernible head. I'm really sorry. It turns out that in first-person games you're basically guiding a camera with appendages gaffer taped to it, and in order for the thing to look correct through the player's eyes, from the outside they have to look a bit David Cronenberg. Outside of competing in universe-wide martial arts tournaments or launching your own pro wrestling career, bank heists are just about the best excuse to don a mask. As such, the robbers in Overkill's Payday series remained shrouded in mystery for quite a while. That is, until the devs overhauled the safe house area in Payday 2 and showed all members of the gang unmasked. What manner of grizzled reprobates from the underbelly of society might lurk in the safe house? Who have you been fraternising with this whole time? A gang of improbably attractive Hollywood actors, it seems. Dallas, you could have been hawking Tom Ford cologne with that face. What are you doing holding up jewellery stores? Houston, I'm sure I've seen you on a Calvin Klein poster. And Rust, you're literally Ron Perlman. Shame on you. Those Hellboy bucks should have lasted you until retirement. Even Jacket from Hotline Miami looks like an Abercrombie model, for goodness sake. Go back to your real jobs on the catwalk, the lot of you. Leave the heisting to people who need to wear a mask. For about 200 hours, Mass Effect fans wondered what might lie behind the mirrored and tastefully tinted visor of Quarian sex symbol Tali. The very fact that she was... okay, deep breath, you can do it, Dave. Romanceable strongly implied that she was attractive, but beauty comes in many different forms, as Commander Shepard's lingering eye can attest. Just what manner of unconventional and exotic alien beauty lay hidden from view? The kind that looks exactly like an attractive human female with 45 seconds of Photoshop alienizing applied to her. That was the underwhelming revelation for Tali romancers in Mass Effect 3, who pandered to her every whim while the universe was falling apart. Only for Tali to send a photo of her unmasked face, this face, up to their bedroom. However, the story doesn't end there. No. Things get much weirder yet. Thanks to this footage captured by YouTuber Hypest Suicide, we now know that beneath Tali's mask lies another mask. Clearly embarrassed about the absurdity of her very nature, Tala's obviously just googled hot alienish woman, printed it out and sent it up to Shep. Crysis is the ultimate power fantasy in first-person shooter form. A sci-fi suit that gives you superpowers and makes you look like a dangerously shredded bodybuilder. Come on, it's the stuff of dreams for some gamers and only reasonably shredded bodybuilders alike. So when someone managed to use the long since patched out dev commands in Crysis 2 to see what player character Alcatraz looked like from the outside, it's safe to say few of them were expecting this walking glitch with an accordion for a torso. Remember Henry in Firewatch? Yeah, Campo Santo aren't the only devs who adhere to that whole fist strapped to a camera principle. Crytek hide all kinds of horrifying body behaviour behind a first-person perspective, so you can peek out of cover and feel like a badass. And poor Alcatraz and his slinky abdomen are merely collateral. A strange case of doppelgangers next, as serial monster amputator Isaac Clarke from Dead Space is finally unmasked. Later in the series, Visceral Games, RIP Visceral, showed Isaac unmasked frequently, but his features were quite the mystery in the series opener. Unless you happen to spin the camera round at the very start of the game, before getting off the crashed transport ship. If you did that, you'd have been greeted by a visage who bears an uncanny resemblance to Hollywood actor Thomas Lennon. That would be all well and good, but since Lennon's oeuvre comprises mainly comedic roles like his appearances in Balls of Fury and Reno 911, it feels a bit jarring to have him in mind while you're stepping over human remains and eviscerating the monsters from The Thing on a big scary spaceship. Perhaps sensing this incongruity, but almost certainly not, Visceral redesigned Isaac's face for the sequels. Mortal Kombat's many warriors had a proclivity for masks long before late 90s rap metal visionary Slipknot made them cool. Kinda. But it's not the lower jaw of Scorpion or Sub-Zero that we're here to examine today. Instead, it's Jason Voorhees, star of many Friday the 13th movies and hockey mask enthusiast. Like fellow teenager terrorizer Michael Myers, his inherent scariness comes from the inherent inscrutability of having his features hidden away, lending a sort of passive and robotic air to his actions. Anyway, when Jason shows up in Mortal Kombat 10 to test out his camp counselor butchering skills on some tougher opponents, you might reasonably think that under the mask lies at least one of the deformed faces we've seen in his movies over the years. But you'd be wrong, obviously, given, what this video is all about. Based on this modded footage captured by the Life and Death YouTube channel, it looks like the years have been kind to Jason. He's at least 95% more handsome than anyone would reasonably expect. Sure, his skin isn't perfect, but he's probably not big on moisturiser. He's basically an even buffer Vin Diesel, with a kind of smouldering deadpan look more often seen on Tinder profiles than the faces of people who have just macheted an opponent in half. It's not really a secret what Mirror's Edge leading lady Faith really looks like. Look, here she is in plain view. But if you'll allow me to elaborate before you type clickbait in the comment box, what we don't ever see is what Faith really looks like when she moves. We certainly get a fantastic sense of it from the way her first-person camera insists on focusing on her own limbs as she performs jumps, slides, and combinations thereof known as parkour. Those graceful wall runs, those elegant jump rolls, and that frenetic martial arts fisticuff stuff. Oh my. But what does it look like to see such a master of her discipline at work through someone else's eyes? As we've strongly alluded to already, it looks like a living nightmare, that's what. Using a camera hack to turn Mirror's Edge into the third-person game it was never intended to be, her true awkwardness and genuinely upsetting limb behaviour are revealed. Those crackers wall runs, those Tomb Raider 1 jump and rolls, and, whatever this is in lieu of frenetic martial arts fisticuff stuff. Sometimes it's best not to meet your heroes, or at least not to have them disarm you as if being operated by a puppeteer. Let us know in the comments below if you can think of any other characters who could well have made this list, and of course, leave us a like and subscribe for more great videos.